This is how an animatronic remake is done. This is the creepy rising doll from Spirit Halloween 2023. This item's story goes way back to 2014, back when its initial character was released as a non-Spirit Halloween exclusive and was known as the Rising Creeper. It was rather short compared to its successor in 2015. The 2015 model was taller and was a Spirit exclusive. She was featured in the Voodoo Swamp and retailed for $230. And that's kind of where her story ends. She was sold as overstock up into 2017, and she faded from memory basically. In 2023, she was remade with many improvements and was made by the same manufacturer, Seasonal Visions. These upgrades include a thicker clothing, updated mechanism, and a thicker plastic face. This animatronic is definitely the gold standard of what an animatronic remake should be. It looks similar, sounds similar, works similar, and it is really trying to stay true to its original form. And the best part about this is that here we are in 2025, and this animatronic is still retailing for only $230. Welcome back. We're sitting down here today. I want to take a look at the box first. It's a pretty generic Spirit Halloween 2020s type style of a box. Very basic. But it does say, creepy rising doll, torso slowly rises upward, glowing LED eyes and moving mouth. And it stands at 5'4", and it rises up to 6'9" tall. I do think she doesn't have the same amount of range as the original did. One thing I do notice with her is that she doesn't really like crouch up as much. She just kind of rests like somewhat open compared to the original model, which is something I kind of wish they were been able to do a better job on. But it's okay. It gets the job done. It works well. And here you have the side of the box. Here's the other side showing the mouth opening and closing, which is pretty cool. And then on the back here we have her story, which I am going to read today. No one wanted to play house dollies or even hide and seek with her at Mrs. Broward's home for wayward girls. She waited and waited, asking everyone with her sweet voice to join her for a game, but they all scurried away. The longer she stood there asking, the faster they ran away. Now anyone curious enough to pity the poor girl for a game ends up playing their final turn. And that's it. That's all they got for this one. Kind of lackluster of a story, nothing funny really. I just don't understand the gap between, alright, well, how does she turn into like this demonic figure from just not having anyone to play with? I think that's quite a jump. It's quite a jump, I gotta say. The longer she stood there asking, the faster they ran away. Like, they could have like added like some sort of like possession, but maybe they don't want to do that. I don't know. Yeah, I think the story was kind of bad on this one. Moving on. It's about time that I opened this one up. It's been laying dormant in my room for the past 2 years. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just bought this a few weeks ago. Let's open it up. Creepy Rising Doll. Very happy to see this one come back. I wanted to get it back in 2023, but with the online only being a thing and having to pay extra for shipping and stuff, I just didn't want to. There was many other things at the time that I just thought were better. But at the Black Friday sale where they had 20% off and free shipping, I decided to pick this one up because it was like now or never, really. So let's take a look at what's in the box here. Got some clothing here. I'm told that this stuff is supposed to be a lot heavier duty than the original clothing. It seems thicker. It just seems like a thick material in general, just looking at the bag. You got 2 arms here. Look at the detailing on the hands. One thing I noticed, I don't know if this is true or not, but like, I'm anxious to see the cracking features on the face, but it seems like some of the earlier models didn't really have that much cracking texture. Here's the other one. And it seems like some later models have gotten more texturing, so I don't know if that's true or not. We'll see. Got some instructions here. Pretty generic setups. I don't really think we're going to really need these that much. I do have the Rising Bog Reaper, which is something that is similar to this. Minus the mechanism, really. Here is the improved mechanism. I really want to get one of the original models now so I can compare the two together, but it looks very simple. I know the old ones had like a big string thing that was like really complicated looking, but this just looks like a normal push piston thing that is probably just gear driven. And you got volume control, speaker jack, plug-in and try-me functions. And then on the back, you got the big speaker, and it just looks so much cleaner and just better quality-wise. And here we go. Here is the face. I'm hoping that it's in good shape. I'm sure it is. Look at that. Look at how big it is. It's a lot bigger than I would suspect. But there is the creepy rising doll's head and the jaw. The seam line seems like it's a lot more noticeable. I'm not too sure. But look at all the cracking that's on this one. I feel like there were not many cracks on some of the previous models. This is very cracked looking. And it's just a half head. Shoulder bracket right here. Just pull this out. Another part of the mechanism, got some springs and stuff. Pretty interesting. And then you got your base with some support poles right here in this box. And that's everything. Okay, let's begin with the setup here. I got all the poles out of the box. You got like 4 support poles on it, and you got this tiny one marked E. But yeah, so all we got to do here initially is just match the labels together, basically. These 2 poles right here is probably what made the Rising Creep, the original 2014 variant, smaller. Is that it probably just was the fact that these 2 support poles weren't here. And the original price tag on that thing was actually more than this is. At Moore's Costumes, it was selling for $270, I think, which is insane, considering it was shorter and did the exact same as a normal creepy rising doll. And then we just got 2 more support poles to go up here. And that's that. Now I'm going to take the main module here and just lock that down. Then you have this extra small pole here that gets snap locked on the back right here. I'll just turn that around for you. Gets snap locked right there. And then we're just gonna release this piston a little bit, let that rise up to about even height. And we're gonna pop on this upper piece. And I think that's fine. And already just feeling the clothing, this is so much heavier duty. I'm not gonna say like so much heavier duty, but it is better than the original probably was. Like I said, I had the Rising Bog Reaper, which was basically this like clothing. It looks the exact same according to my recollection. And yeah, this just is thicker material, just better all around. It's really cool to see that this is the same price tag as it was in 2015, considering all of the upgrades. So I don't know what that really says about like how much it was marked up back then compared to now, because you also got to think of inflation and stuff and all the upgrades. There's a lot of things going for this one, I gotta say. And then you take your hunchback bracket right here, and then we just take the head and lock that on, and we are good to go. Something to note, that zip tie looks very enticing to cut off, but I'm thinking you should not do that. It looks like everything will have enough length already. So don't cut that zip tie. I don't think it's necessary. And you can already see that this thing is already towering over me a little bit. I don't think this is its full height though. Just gonna feed the arm through here. There we go on 1. There we go on number 2. Now there's some Velcro under the neck here, or on the neck rather, that you can just attach the clothing to. There and there. And it does look like you have to take off the wire tie for the IR sensor, as it does come up with the clothing. Unlike the original model, the IR sensor actually has to be placed into the clothing, which can always be a little difficult to do. But there we go. That's good enough. I'm going to use it on my remote, so it doesn't even matter. It's just for looks right now. But if we turn her around here, you can see that the back just gets covered up by some more Velcro. Just hide around the neck here. Alright, so I got all the clothing all pretty much tidied up and put the Velcro on the arms. And all we got to do is put the hoodie on her, which is just a piece of fabric once again with a piece of Velcro at the top that you just pull behind her and then just Velcro that together. You can tidy up the fabrics to your desire, and there you go. She is completed. So here I am standing next to her just for height comparison. I don't even know if she's at her full height yet, but we're about to demo her. Hopefully she all works. I'm very curious to know if her eyes are always on when she's talking in the little doll state. Originally the eyes just would like come on and off when she talked with the blue. All right, I'm gonna go plug her in now. She'll probably like reset down a little bit. Here we go. That's odd. Okay. All right, here we go. She is all ready to go. I have her hooked up to the Try Me buttons here. Let's see what she does.
Hello.
So you see the lights are always on. They're always just on blue.
The rules are very simple.
And then they get brighter when she talks.
And I'll show you. Don't be afraid.
I don't know if that's normal.
Come a little closer. That's right. Here, let me stand up so I can see you.
It's like that when it's red too. You can see there's some red, a little red peeking through.
To eat. We can play hide and seek if you want to. You run and I'll come find you. I love a good chase.
And then it's like, that's so odd when she resets. I don't know if that's normal. It's like the motor's trying to go down and it can't. I'm gonna have to check it out. But let's look at all the cracking texture. There's a lot more texture on this compared to, I think, some of the later or earlier releases rather. I'm gonna have to double check my thoughts on that. So I just double checked, and yes, the cracks look a lot more evident on this one compared to that of like early 2023 models. Again, I bought this in late 2024, so this thing is probably a later batch. The finish also looks different as well. It looks a lot more matte of a finish. Some of the other ones look a little more glossy looking, like porcelain, which I thought was interesting. And yes, the eyes are also different because the lights are always on here. The film is a little odd, but it's always blue. And it wasn't like that in early 2023 production. Same with the red.
Yes, now I can see you.
So there are definitely some differences between like early production 2023 and like later production. The cracks are a lot more evident. The eyes with the light up eye dilemma, not a dilemma, but it's just different, which I think is interesting. So I don't know if that was intentional or if something with like modules have changed and there's like some voltage that's still getting up to the eyes to light them up. Because you see the lights do get brighter when she's speaking. And so it just makes you wonder if there's something going on in here. And I've seen many models do that. So that's interesting to me. Now, from an originality standpoint, she shouldn't be having her eyes light up all the time. They should be off when she's not speaking. They should just be blinking. That's how the original 2015 model was like. But that is the creepy rising doll. She works pretty well. Let's go to a nighttime demo of her.
Hello. Do you want to play with me? Let's play a game. The rules are very simple. Come over here and I'll show you. Don't be afraid. Come a little closer. That's right. Here, let me stand up so I can see you better.
Ah, yes, now I can see you. You look good enough to eat. We can play hide and seek if you want to. You run and I'll come find you. I love a good chase.
Okay, one final thing I want to show you all are the instructions here. High quality stuff, I gotta say. It's very thick paper, isn't gonna just crumble up. And it's got a good amount of stuff on here. It's pretty detailed, I would think, as well. It's all colorized. And just overall good instructions. This is pretty standard. right now in like 2024, 2025. So not a big thing there. If you want an animatronic that you think is well worth the money, I think this one is pretty much one of the better ones you're gonna get nowadays. For a $230 price tag, keep in mind that's exactly what it originally retailed for back in 2015. And then there's all these upgrades. You have a thicker plastic face, you have probably an updated speaker, I'm not too sure on that one, but the clothing is better quality, perhaps a better mechanism. I think it's more simple, where if something does go bad on it, it's going to be easily able to get fixed. Whereas with the string abomination thing that came out back in 2015, if that thing ever got like tangled up, you're going to be there for a while trying to fix it, I think. Some of the gripes I have with this thing are just little things, really. The eyes is something that I'm not too sure if I like or not, with the fact that it's different from the original model. I think the eyes are cool, but just the fact that it strives away from the originality is what I don't like about it. That's just me. Another thing that I'm not too sure about are the cracks on the face. It really looks overdone, I think. It doesn't even look like cracks at this point. It's like really shattered. It's like someone like tried to glue her face back together with like super glue or something. But that's very nitpicky, all of those things. Overall, she's a great animatronic. I think with the improved mechanism of design and just simplicity, it's a lot more simplistic, I think. Definitely worth the price if you wanted to get the original back in the day. I'm not really sure how much longer she's going to be on the website. It's around that 2-year mark pretty soon. So if you want to get her, I would suggest getting her. It's a shame that she was online only and never purchasable in stores, because I think she was super cool of a prop and would just be something that a lot of people would think is cool and would probably buy. It's just different, you know, it has a unique twist. It sticks out from anything that just goes from side to side and stuff. But that is all from me in this video. Let me know what you guys think of the remake of the Creepy Rising doll. Would you want to spend the $230 on this one or try and find an original model? Let me know in the comments below. But that's all from me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.